Okay, so I'll just make sure that's going good.
Okay, we're ready now.
We're ready now. All right, good. So yes, when I was in Michigan, actually, this is when I was breaking down all this data.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Glad to see that.
So, and then actually what I figured out is I should have waited a few weeks, because if you look on the dashboard now, on the district dashboard, it all tells you who made growth and who didn't make growth, but I literally
Wow.
sat there scores.
We're so used to doing it.
I know.
We are.
So we started off, or I started off in the results over time. So if you look at the top, that's where we were in 14-15, and I added the 2018-19 column. So, looking at our results from last year, if you look at it, horizontally going across in third grade, yes, we were at 55%. We jumped to 70% proficiency this year, which was outstanding. And if you look at the yellow to yellow, like diagonal going down, they made a little bit of growth with our kids, but nothing substantial, right? Because they got them at 55% and grew them to 57.
But if you look at the 2016 going to 2018-19, looking at 55, 63, and then back down to 52. So
Yeah.
our fifth grade students are not making the gains
There was a huge, if you go to the fourth
they
grade
need
row,
to.
so in 17-18, they were at 63. So fifth grade got their kids last year at 63% proficiency, and they ended at 52. That is a huge drop.
It is a
And
huge
it
drop.
happened again the year prior.
Right.
It happens every year, actually, Kelly, now that you say that. Just go back to that 66 in orange.
Yeah.
To 55, 56 to 49, 66, not so bad last year, but yeah, something's definitely happening.
Well, and look at the 55 in third grade going to 63. Those fourth grade teachers really moved those kids, and then they got to fifth grade last year and they dropped.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's where we need to drill down and really look at individual teacher scores and why is that not where are we not moving students.
And what are the teachers doing that are moving students?
Right.
All right, so this is the breakdown, kind of like what you were just saying, right? So we look at third grade, and you'll see the overall results and the domains. This does not have a growth column, obviously, or the annual growth, because they were in second grade last year. But it does have the percent proficient.
I'm really surprised at the key ideas and details on how.
Well, you want to know something funny about that? So all that revamping of the questionings and things that was focused on was a lot of craft and structure, and that kind of rang out in there. See how it's 65?
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. So real great breakdown.
Yeah. So here's fourth grade, and then you're going to see the column added for the percent of learning gains that were in. So I see Meredith shaking her head, because what is sticking out to you that surprised me as well?
Games.
Gains.
There's a discrepancy in games.
It sure is.
What happened?
That's $1 million question right there.
And then one thing that I just want you guys to be aware of, not that we have to make a decision or anything, but see where OBS is down there with her the gains being at 28%, which is significantly below the rest. All right.
And why did that? How did that happen? So why is such a dynamo teacher? Why would her gains be the significantly lower of our fourth grade students in ELA?
But watch what happens when we go to fifth grade.
That's what I was.
But one thing I want you to be aware of, just to be aware of it, is so the learning gains are 28%, which is really low. As of right now, she has all of those kids back. all those kids that didn't make growth.
No, she doesn't. Well, she will have them, yes, she'll have
Fifth
them,
grade, except for one or two.
right.
And that's just something to be aware of.
Which could show significant growth.
Yeah.
But that's not the yo-yo effect we want. We don't want, because they lost a lot by decreasing their growth from third grade. And now she makes gains in fifth grade, well, that's all grand and good, but we want that.
Or doesn't,
Well, that
or
has,
doesn't make gains 2 years in a row for these kids.
Well, that's true.
that has to be the question, because you wouldn't put a child who had, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to her, but an unsuccessful year in fourth grade, you wouldn't saddle them up with the
Right.
potential for an unsuccessful
Right.
year in fifth.
And then and that's where my head was going back and forth, because trying to respect her wishes, which is, that was her wish to have those kids, follow them up, right, to fifth grade.
Well, and there's something to be said, because research tells you one thing that's effective for students, if they've built a relationship with that looping pattern, helps to build that level of success for them. So there's something to be said for that. However,
But what
However-
would she do different
Right.
than what she did in fourth grade with those fifth graders that could make that difference? That's the key.
And she does have a plan, cause she's kind of
Upset about it?
shoved it in my face one day in the cafeteria, like all written out of what she's changing strategically, but
Is that after the results?
yeah.
But look at even the proficiency, so what's happening in Anderson's class?
It's true.
And you know what, Meredith? That she did loop. Anderson did loop with her
She
kids.
did.
Yeah, from third to
Mm.
fourth. So I don't know if that was
So
And
was
then-
this, so then my wondering would be, was this Anderson's first time with introduction of content too?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. This is her first year in fourth grade
okay.
with her kids.
It's a very structured.
And I thought it was impressive
High
that Hickey,
expectations
with the
teacher.
AWC class, has the most learning gains, which is almost
Which is typical for her in fourth grade. Her fifth grade hasn't had the learning gains in the past, which was why she focused and totally changed how she presents reading in her fifth grade this year.
Mhm.
Okay.
She's someone who always wants to improve.
I know she does, she's,
Mendoza didn't do us any favors by being here for 1 year. And her scores weren't that great.
It's interesting though, Orion spoke, her scores across, I mean, minus your two, like, end caps, but her scores across aren't
That
drastically different from those of her teammates.
she's higher than the average in one of them.
Yes.
so we need to really look at her class and what the makeup was. So
My question,
really,
to look at her students as third graders, where were they as third graders and fourth graders, and
Right.
what kind of group was she really working with at this point?
Yes, and now that I'm looking at it, she needs a lot of writing.
Oh,
Look
yes.
at her writing. It is the lowest in writing and in language and editing, so that would be a goal for her.
she did have, her fourth graders, she had a very eclectic group of kids. I mean, she had a couple of kids that we knew relationship-wise she would connect with.
And she did.
More than some of our others. But usually with that connection does come
Mhm.
some of the games, because they just wanna perform for you.
Okay, but interesting to look at the fifth grade, cause now look at her fifth grade games. But the proficiency.
She had a low group of fifth graders.
That's-
If she had 63% gains.
But Hickey, her gains in fifth grade.
Incredible for her fifth grade, which historically has not been that high.
She should be really.
So it'd be interesting to look at Lampal's scores over time. So if we go back the last 3 or 4 years and chart them to see where she is, she's not that far off from where she's been.
That is such low proficiency. And but look at how much growth she had. I mean, those kids must have been low, right? No.
So again, I would say the writing piece has to be
You're talking about for OB?
For two of them, yeah. I think writing, something was missing in writing.
Did she come as a fourth grade teacher? Do you remember, O'Brien?
I
Yes,
think
She
so.
yes.
Florida?
Pinellas County
Yeah,
or
Hillsborough, I think.
Hillsborough?
I just didn't know if she was familiar with the writing.
Mhm.
Well, we will have a more cohesive curriculum this year, at least it will be more, I think a lot of people did their own thing with some pieces pulled in. There was discrepancy, I know Busenberg worked directly with Noel on writing a bunch.
Right, and look at that.
The conventions are just crazy.
She had not taught ELA,
Right.
Noel, before.
Okay.
She'd always taught
This was
math,
first year.
science.
Well, and it'll be interesting to hold on to this piece in particular for the first column of just the purpose, focus, and organization to track the changing, the course as it changes with having, Top score.
Whatever it is.
yeah,
Mhm.
because the function of that really is to build that first, to set the purpose, the focus, and the organization.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Did you use Top Score before?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good, okay.
And I do know Noel's class, she had a higher
Mm-hmm.
functioning, like,
Mhm.
But she still had games.
no, she had good games.
But I was thinking that too, they did start
Right.
wrong. And then the only thing I wanted to point out is that they do need a lot of working key ideas
But
and
remember, these
details.
were our kids, were
Which
these
is
the
just
kids that had
astounding, 'cause that's very basic.
63 and we went down to 50
But obviously
something
we're
like
not
that last year.
asking the questions correctly, we're not
I
using
remember
them.
from-
So we need to get into the test specs and actually
Can you-
copy and
Right.
paste
Right.
those type of questions.
Right.
So yeah, so this is the big drop,
For their proficiency.
right,
Yeah, so their proficiency went down, but I mean, the games don't look,
Terrible.
no, they don't.
but this
And
is
it
the
was-
group that was 55, 63 in fourth grade and now down to
But
52.
it was some of these learning gains that saved us.
It was, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, 1 point away.
Okay,
Okay?
okay, so now we're getting into math. So again, third grade, big jump in proficiency going across.
And I'm really surprised 4th grade was as low as it was. Cause those 4th graders came in at a pretty strong, a solid, you know,
They were at
math
67.
foundation. Right. And then look at the 4th grade dropping to, as 5th graders, they really dropped.
But it's a reversal for your fifth grade and for math than it was for ELA. Historically, your fifth grade has either been able to maintain or pull up a little
Mhm.
bit, and this is
Right.
the first year that it has dropped.
Right.
And that was, who was there? So that was our new teacher, right? Felton was teaching math over there.
Was, well, it was
And-
2016,
And who
17,
knew, and the teacher before her,
Hensel.
Oh, yeah, yes, right, right. So that was kind of a
Was 2016, 17 the year we did not have a
score.
curriculum?
Oh.
No, we kind of built our own standards based, we used a little of everything.
Believe so, cause then it was Go Math and then it was. You know what, Kelly, it might have been 15, 16, cause I
Was it?
remember us being surprised at how high the score was in third grade with that mishmash of stuff. Okay,
alright.
and then we can get into the, individuals. Cider's kids did really well.
What a phenomenal teacher.
She's truly standards based, so this is what's interesting with this, and I do wanna talk to third grade about this. So Cider and Valentine, those are the two teachers that completely subscribe to the way the district really wanted you to teach using the IFG, and Go Math as just supplemental, barely. The other ones really followed Go Math. And we kept having that discussion of, it'll come out in the wash, right, so we'll see what
So
happens.
this year, we wanna make sure we are all in sync with what the district expects, because 3rd grade as a whole, was it ELA, we're not following the instructional focus guide? I don't know if it it was in math or.
Third
yeah,
grade is math.
Yeah,
Well, 2 people were, that's what I'm saying, so Cider and Valentine were, and their scores came out.
and look at them,
It makes a
wow.
difference.
Well, you've gotta give Daly, she's right there, but she's a wonderful math teacher. At 79.
Yeah, she's got
I mean,
some
she's
solid,
right there.
yeah.
Right. Ooh. Okay.
And Daly had a couple of tough kiddos.